Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, bang, boom, boom. Bang, boom, boom, bang, boom. Bang, boom, boom, bang, 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 bang. Boom, boom, bang, boom, bang, boom, boom, bang, boom, bang, boom, bang, boom, boom, bang, bang, boom, bang, boom, bang, boom, bang, boom, boom, bang, bang, boom, bang, boom, bang, like my elbow on the wall. What's up, fuckers? Hello, ladies. It's been a minute. How y'all doing today? Little Easter break, few days of bullshit and snow out of nowhere, and it's still snowing today. Beautiful. It's so bright outside. At least there's something good about it. So, today, I'm gonna aim for something. I'm gonna set my sights on something. I'm gonna go for a goal. But I'm not talking about aim as in acquiring a target, shooting a basketball. What we're going to be talking about is antagonistic, intrinsic mystics, right? Ooh, that was hard to say. Antagonistic, intrinsic mystics. You'll figure it out. So, what I've been noticing lately is I went to the site I love and love to hate. And of course, it was all Orange Man bad. But I noticed something. It was slightly different now. Because it was an Orange Man bad article. But I wanted to see the comments because of what it was specifically talking about and how I knew that it was misinformation. And so I went into the comments and I noticed something strange. The people at Ars Technica are actually getting manipulated in the comments very badly. There are professional writers from a certain country that if you talk about that certain country and it being the origin of anything or having any kind of ties to anything, your posts get instantly downvoted by at least 1,000 people. Man, like anywhere from 100 to 1,000 people, dependingly. It instantly disappears. And like I said, I like to read through the comment section to see the quotes. And it's the funniest stuff in the world because what you see is in the quotes are people editing the quote to say I'm a dumbass instead of an actual proper point that actually makes sense. And then they rebut with Orange Man bad, but Orange Man bad, but Orange Man bad. Like, oh my God, Orange Man is so bad. And China is great. They're the best. They're so successful. Didn't you see their numbers? Like, oh my God, they're like the best. Oh my God, Becky, don't you know that's fake news? Like, what in the flying fuck? How do you not see these press releases? I mean, that's what it is. There's this one gentleman that replied to every single thing that said the C word. And you know what? It was a paragraph or 3 specifying details of propaganda that we know are not true. And when people would combat him, it would get downvoted. He would quote them, cut out half of what they said, and say, no, it's not true because China told me this. And China's been doing this. And it's like, but if you actually look, we know that's not true. One thing that we need to look at, damn it, I forgot the name of the initiative. It's Roads and something. There's a certain country that's trying to take over everything. They're trying to get the upper hand. They're doing it through psychological warfare. They are doing it through technical warfare, and they are doing it through physical warfare. They're also doing it through geological warfare. What you need to realize is that Sun Tzu only talked about some aspects of fighting and the things that armies can do. But this same place has taken it to a whole nother extreme because they're all about control. Not only do they control their own people, they have an iron fist and they will just make people disappear at the snap of a finger. Okay, so that's how they control their people. They control their people with force. They control their people with fear. If you say anything wrong, you can die. No ifs, ands, or but. Or you can just disappear and nobody even knows you're dead. And we have, like, these press agencies. I believe it was CNN recently. They got caught literally reporting a press release from a certain country. Well, in that press release, they disparaged our country and praised another country because they didn't write it. They published a propaganda piece from a government, and they say that they're, most trusted name in news. Think about that for a second. We've got to pay attention to ownership. What we have right now is we have this specific country that has shell companies set up, like thousands, if not millions of shell companies set up. So at any point in time, they can just jump ship. Anything happens, they jump ship. And then this other shell company comes in and buys this other company. What you need to realize is that when you get into products and services and just anything that is sold or provided by a business, you need to look at ownership to a certain extent. I mean, obviously, if you're going to get ice cream, you don't need to know who the owner of the shop is. But when you're doing business and you're doing thousands of dollars of business, millions of dollars of business, and so on and so forth, you need to look at who you're dealing with. So, as far as electronics go, right, there was a specific supplier called Newegg. They had the best prices. They did a really good stuff. Everybody went there because they had the best prices, the best shipping. Basically, their only competition was Micro Center, which is basically a warehouse store that you have to go in store to get. And you can get basically Newegg prices, quote unquote, in store, but there's only so many stores of Micro Center. So now, about 5 years ago, actually, I don't know exactly when it was, but Newegg got bought by a certain country. And I'm not kidding here. They literally got bought by a certain country. Now, you've got to understand something. Newegg has millions of people's addresses, telephone numbers, credit card information, different payment options, PayPal accounts linked. They are one of the biggest retailers on the internet. That isn't like an Amazon or basically a big box store online. They'd be more along the lines of like a Circus City or Best Buy if you have those, or Fry's or a few other ones. Anyway, the point is that you've got to watch out for good reputations, okay? Because good reputations don't mean anything. You have to understand that what is, oh Lord, yes. Okay, so you want to talk about power and control, and you want to talk about A.I.M. Let's talk about Microsoft, right? Microsoft bought GitHub. Okay, what GitHub is it's a place where you can store your code for software. And GitHub has always been a very open place. You can go in there, you can put your code up there, you can share it with people. And what I found very interesting is that a few years ago, Microsoft bought them. And that's where my little theory about the AI writing Windows 10 and just screwing it up because it's not human readable. Because I have a feeling that they're using all of that code in GitHub to have an AI run through and see what it is and flag things that they can use for features in their own software. I think they're using it fairly smartly, but very, very shady and very not cool, because what they're doing is, well, people have released some of this stuff open source and people are free to use it. Microsoft, usually open source doesn't mean you can commercially use it without some kind of, string attached or something like that. Not always, but most of the time. But Microsoft bought GitHub, so now they have the biggest repository of code on the planet to just sit and pick through, and it's on their servers. It's their information now. All of this information that's been uploaded for years, probably, I don't even know, 20, 30 years possibly. I really don't know. But now Microsoft owns all of that. It's on their server. It doesn't matter what the terms are, anything. It's physically on their servers and they own it now. Well, guess what happened recently? There's this other project, right? And it's called NPM, I believe. Sorry, guys, I'm still learning how to code my damn self. So, it's Node Package Manager, something along those lines. But basically, when you do a web page, you have to have fonts, how the letters look, different ways. You have to have different layouts, like the bar across the top that says the name, and then there's a few different places that you can click on and go to. That uses an external tool, sometimes called Bootstrap. Then you have basically what you do is when you're setting up, certain code bases, you just say, I need this for this to work. I need this for this to work. I need this for this to work. And then you type in a command and it goes and it grabs all that stuff from NPM. Okay. So now, last week, they got bought by GitHub. And the CEO is like, I knew this day would come. I always knew this day would come. And we're giving it to such a great company in GitHub and blah, blah, blah. Nowhere in the press release did it mention Microsoft. Microsoft owns GitHub. So it wasn't GitHub buying this. It's Microsoft eating up all the competition, gobbling up all of the open source code, all of the pieces, and they're putting them on their servers, on their computers, on their hard drives. There's a reason. Microsoft is taking all of your personal information. Microsoft is taking all of the code on the damn planet. Microsoft is making power moves right now to try to cut out all of their competition. They do not want their competition to be able to get over on them. Google, and with Android, is already taken over because they're on every mobile phone. They're on Chromebooks. They're on so many different devices. It's stupid, right? But it's all cheap shit. And you have Mac, but everything Mac is like, $1,000 or more. Then you've got PCs, which are fairly cheap, but they're right in the middle between Macs and Android, where they can, be anywhere from $500 to $10,000. So they have a large market share, but they don't have as large of a market share as Android, and they don't have the premium, the ability to bring in the premium like Mac, because it's just certain hardware with specialized software. So we've got to look at the aim. We've got to look at the trajectory. See, we have a certain country that is telling people that everything's fine here. It's fine. There's nothing to worry. We have it under control. Then, at the same time they're saying that, they're sourcing every single mask, every single sanitizer, every single thing that they can possibly get to try to get back into their country. You've got to understand, these are adversaries. This is adversarial. This is antagonistic. Okay? The antagonizing never stops. When we get these feel-good stories from certain parts of the country that only care about power, that literally propagandize their own citizens, how can you logically think that they're not going to send that message outward? I mean, I'm pretty sure that they have a telecommunications company in every single country, their own, that nobody can use. I'm pretty sure that they have, maybe not every country, obviously, because there's some smaller countries they wouldn't need to, and they could just plop one down in one country and serve like 8 countries in certain areas. But They have telecommunications set up in every country. They have businesses, news networks set up in every country. They have, I mean, if you look at, all right, how many countries have a news network in a lot of other countries? Okay. So maybe like the BBC, okay, which is kind of shady, and there's some good and bad about that. But then you've got, what is it, RT, which is from Russia. Why would they want or need a news media network in other countries? You've got Al Jazeera, and you've got a lot of Chinese-based media, right? One thing that we need to look for right now, very, very important, right? All of these shitty media companies that do nothing but talk orange man bad and political ideology and identity politics, they're going out of business because it's no longer, we can't deal with first world issues right now. We can't deal with the air conditioning is sexist right now because people can't pay for air conditioning right now, right? So they're all collapsing because it was all first world problems crying because they got a skinned knee, when other people around the world are getting their legs chopped off below the knee instead of just getting a little scratch on their knee. They need money. Who do you think is going to be the fastest one to drop some money and have a controlling stake in a huge media company? Especially one that has the tagline, the most trusted name in news. Do you think maybe a propaganda specialist might say, let's drop $50 million here and take advantage of this situation? Look, be aware of the amount of propaganda that's about to come out. We've got certain forces that are literally doing every type of warfare against us right now on a country level. And the thing about it is, it's not just a country level, it's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, population-wise, countries in the world. They have enough people and enough resources to do whatever they'd like. We need to be careful of who's buying what. Because what you have to understand is that anybody that's connected to a certain government, their entire family and their lineage can be completely wiped out in a matter of 10 minutes if they do the wrong thing. And you need to understand that. In a certain country, it's not you'll get hurt. No, it's the government will hurt you, your sister, your brothers, your mother, your father, your children, your children's children, your grandmother's children. They will destroy your entire lineage. You will not go forward. They will they will DNA test to make sure that there's no more of you on this planet just because you said the wrong thing. Think about that. That's how much power they think they need. That's how much power and control they want. They will literally take human lives at the snap of a finger, no problem. We need to pay attention to this. We need to know who owns what. You've got these huge Facebooks, you've got huge, all of this social media. They almost went under, and now all of a sudden they're kind of back and they're propped up and they're good to go with a little bit more little more ads. Oh God, Reddit. Ugh. You know why they changed the design, right? So that you see, when you scroll down to the last comment, you see the next one with an ad on it, and then they try to get you to constantly read that. I mean, it had nothing whatsoever to do with their format, and people enjoyed their format because it was easy to read. The change had nothing to do with user experience. It had everything to do with ad revenue. But you also have to watch out because these people are getting influxes of money from somewhere. And it's not always the investor that you think. There's so many shell companies out. There's probably as many shell companies in this world as there are real companies. We need to start tracing money a little bit more. We need to start figuring out exactly who it is that is purchasing these companies. We have to be understanding and acknowledge that there are entire countries, not necessarily the people in them, but the infrastructure and the government of these countries are waging war against other countries, including our own. That's humans. We have laws in place. All right, so one of the biggest issues right now, like, we have people we have politicians breaking the law, technically, right? So you've got the Constitution. Well, the Constitution is the law of the land. Everybody who joined the Union is bound by that Constitution. Beyond that Constitution, they can't take anything away. They can only give you more rights. They can't take any rights away from you, right? So we have leaders, governors, politicians, literally breaking the law because of what's going on right now. And people are like, fuck your Constitution. When you say, hey, but what about the Constitution? That's like the law. They're like, fuck your Constitution. And then it's like, no, that is the law. Our leaders are breaking the law, and you say it's okay. What would happen reverse? Say that leader is looking at you and you broke a law. What's going to happen to you? You're going to get locked the fuck up, fined, something. But just because of what's happening, you turn around and you're like, just do it. Just do it. No, they're breaking the law. They're literally breaking the law. It's illegal to do some of the stuff they're doing. It's like, what's the difference in that and somebody standing outside of your door with guns saying you can't come out? That's what they're doing. And that's against the law. That's the point. Look, aim. You need to aim for something. You need to get a goal. But you need to pay attention to the other stuff that's going on. You need to pay attention to who's actually backing these programs, who's backing these media organizations, who's backing these huge companies when they get bought. I mean, Uber, I want to say Uber's owned basically like 50% or a majority stake of, I want to say Uber, one of the rideshare companies is owned by Japan. I mean, of course, while we did fight with them, we do have a fairly friendly relationship with them, but they're still a country trying to get power because they can't slow down because of who's next to them. We're far enough away that we can be allies, and especially after the fight and everything that we had, we kissed and made up. But they don't have a choice with the people that are surrounding them. So, antagonistic, intrinsic, mystics. When you put all those together, you'll understand what the aim is. And it doesn't have anything to do with they're making a choice. No, it's been part of the culture for so long. This is what the people are taught. This is what the people are propagandized. This is how they are raised. They're taught that this is normal. They're taught that this is right. But not only that, you've actually got the government targeting them with misinformation and then speaking out of the other side of their mouth to the people outside of their country. Because anybody inside of the country, whether they're a Westerner or not, or they're a foreigner, can just still be dead. Nobody can get into China to figure out what the hell happened. There's too many people. There's too much happening. They can say a million different reasons because it's not a safe place in certain areas. So, take your time. Look for the antagonism. You'll see how it's intrinsic and how it's become mystic. It's like common sense. It's like the washing your hands part. Like, you just know you need to wash your hands now, but 100 years ago we didn't know. Well, from like 500 BC, they've been doing this. Like, we're not talking about 100 years of washing your hands. This is literally instilled and driven into their heads and like through state television, through every media source. I mean, you look at, there's buildings with a certain person on the entire building to reinforce that that's what you need to do. Same thing with headlines. All right, when you're walking down the street and you see the newsstand and you see all the headlines, pay attention to what the headline is. You have to understand that that's the main propaganda. Nowadays, it's not the headline story, it's the propaganda that they want to spread, because 90% of the people that walk past that newsstand don't buy it. All they see is that front page article. And it has gone from giving us the news to making us believe something. So when you look at those headlines on the front page as you walk by, realize that it's probably some bullshit. I'm not even going to hold you up. I can almost guarantee 90% of the front pages, unless it's like small, like morally obligated companies, or just small outlets that need to do good or else they won't survive, more than likely it's bullshit. So be careful of what you're reading. Be careful of what you're hearing. Be careful of what you're being told. And aim to know the origins. So I love y'all. I wish you well. Make today beautiful. I hope the snow melts. Have a lovely day. Holla at you.